In this video, we are going to discuss about the hosting requirements for the private blog network. This part is a very important part in the entire private blog network because hosting plays an important role in terms of the IP addresses relating to the site and how your websites are distributed. So this is a very important step, but most of the people overcomplicate this by way of enforcing a lot of restrictions like that. So my main factor is keep it very simple. When I say keep it very simple, the most important factor we have to look into the hosting of domains is number one factor is the unique C-class IPs. So what this means is every domain we host and every computer we see the web internet, we have a called IP address. Every computer is associated with an IP address. So Google knows when you are creating the private blog network and if you host in a single server, all the websites will be coming from a single IP address. So if you just give a backlink from single IP address, you will have, if you have 100 blogs and links coming from 100 blogs from one single IP, Google easily finds that this is not a natural linking pattern, so you will not have any value in those kind of links. So what happens in the private blog network, what we do is if we host 10 blogs, we have to make sure all the 10 blogs are coming from unique C class IPs. Unique C class IPs are an IP address is classified into 4 blocks, which is called A.B.C.D, and the C and D part should be different to each site which is coming from a web hosting. So how we get these unique C class IPs? So every hosting companies will have different IP address. So the one easiest factor is to have 10 different hosts, or in many cases many hosting companies also provide in a single interface a different IP address for each website, so that it will be easy for us to manage with one account with multiple IP addresses. So we will see where this type of IP addresses or hosting is provided. The second important thing in hosting your domain is make sure to have a cPanel interface. cPanel interface is available for the web hosting company, so that we manage our account by an interface called cPanel. So which cPanel is the most popular hosting platform and it is very easy for us to manage. So these are the two components. The cPanel interface is very important component while selecting the hosting providers. Okay, when it comes to the hosting providers, the first one I say is of ease of maintenance is one site called Host9. Host9 is a hosting providers where they have the server capabilities in a multiple location. So while selecting the domains, we can select where our domain wants to reside. For example, they may have 3-4 servers across USA, Europe, UK and Australia. So for each domain we can select, I want domain 1 to host in US, domain 2 host in UK, domain 3 host in Europe, and the domain 4 to host in Australia. So what happens is that when you select the different location, the IP address will be definitely different. So that is the easiest way of getting the different IP address. I mentioned this as ease of maintenance because you will be having only one account, and if you want 10 websites and 10 IP address, you can get from the single host itself by getting different IP addresses. So that is the ease of maintenance because you have only one account. The second easiest thing is, I can't say this as a difficult one. That's why I mentioned as a manageable method. The manageable method because you can manage this by using a small web spreadsheet called Excel, and you can create login. Why we are manageable? Because the simple thing is to go for individual providers. So to go for individual low cost providers like $1 web hosting or $2 web hosting, there are a lot of people which offer for $1 per month. So that means you will be spending only $12 per year for one domain. So for 10 domains, you can make it $100. We can finish it off. So, but the only problem here is you will be having for 10 websites 10 different hosting providers. So the easiest way to find out the providers is webhostingtalk.com forum. You have a forum for the web hosting, and where there will be coupons, discounts, new offers will be provided in that forum. I will show you in the Google now. So this is the web hosting talk forum, where this is the thread which I have indicated, and see here starting at $1.66 monthly for life. So these kind of offers will be coming. So this is one good place to find the hosting easily. So because we are going to host in different, so you don't have to search for a lot of hard disk capacities or bandwidth, because we are going to host only one domain and it will take one IP address. So all the different 10 hosts for a 10 domains will have different IPs. The second easiest thing to find a domain hosting is, as I provided in this, is Google search for $1 web hosting. So if you go to Google and just type $1 hosting, you will find a lot of websites which provides $1. For example, this is a very good site, Host Ripples, which I have used personally. I have used 3ix, which is also a very good one. In the Host Ripples, if you go and see the Linux shared one, you will have $1 web hosting plan for, and the beauty of this is they have more than 10 locations where you can host your website. So these are all the different countries: Canada, USA, United Kingdom, Germany. So you can host wherever you want, and they have cPanel hosting, so that is another factor. So this is a very good site which I have used personally, and it's good for single site. You don't have to really worry a lot about hosting, because one site will do. And there is Hobo Host, and I have used personally the 3ix. 3ix is also very good, and they have multiple plans. In $1 is there, $3 is there. You can have $1, $3, or you can, if you are budget constrained, you just have $1 and host only one domain. That will be fine. And you select another hosting provider like Hobo Host, which says $1, so you can go there and book a $1 domain there. See, he also provides cPanel, which is most important. So a lot of people are provide. See, there is a floor package which is $1 per month. So the $1 most probably will be annual package, which we have to pay $12, and it's easy. $12 for 10 domains will be $120. So what happens is, by this way, for 10 domains, you are going to select 10 multiple hosting providers and hosting your 10 different domains. And each domains, because it's a 10 different host providers, the IP address will be completely different, and it will be very ideal. The only thing I mentioned this manageable, because you have to remember the password for the 10 different hosting companies and IDs. So what I suggest is just use a small web spreadsheet. You can use Google Docs or Microsoft Excel and just maintain it. It's pretty easy if you are just have the habit of entering all the usernames and login details. It will be easy for maintenance, and you don't have to really worry. I personally love the second manageable method, because it gives the option for distributing the sites in different places. Because if you are in one place, there will be a possibilities to finding out the IP address used by the hosting providers. But if you are using 10 different hosts or 20 different hosts, it's definitely unique, and all the IP address will be different. So either way you can manage. So it's up to you whether you want to do it in a single hosting company or in a manageable method, which is a multiple hosting company. So the most important thing is each site should have different C class IP. That is the most important factor. Otherwise, there will not be any use of doing this PBN guide. So the most important thing, each site should be a different IP address. That's it, period. Let's see. In the next video, we will be discussing about the site, how we are going to set up the site, how the content has to be put. We will see you in the next video.